Good morning. Thank you all for joining. We'll give just a moment to clear the waiting room. As a reminder to everybody joining us, when you are entering from the waiting room, please do remain on mute unless or until you are appearing or speaking before the board. Good morning. This is a hearing before the licensing board for the city of Boston. Today is Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. Today's hearing is being held pursuant to temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. Today's hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the city of Boston's website. Before I review procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman of the Board, Kathleen Joyce.
Good morning. My name is Kathleen Joyce, Chair of the Boston Licensing Board. Today, I'm also joined by Commissioner Kiana Saxon and Commissioner Liam Curran.
Thank you very much. Please ensure that your audio and visuals are working properly. I will call each item in the order that it appears on this morning's agenda. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the applicant. You'll make a brief presentation regarding your proposal, followed by questions by the chair and commissioners. Following questions, there will be an opportunity for testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives. For members of the general public wishing to provide testimony, please limit your testimony to 2 minutes, and please state your name, address, and affiliation, if any. Begin with the first item on this morning's agenda, calling item number 1, Enterprise KG LLC, doing business as the Munchie Station, located at 996 Dorchester Ave in Dorchester. Has applied for a common victualler license to be exercised on the above 542 square feet. Upon entering to the right, on the first floor is a fridge. Right across from that is the cash register. Next to the counter is a sanitary sink. To the back is an open kitchen and bathroom. Downstairs basement level is prepping space. Manager Kevin Gonzalez. Hours of operation 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Kevin Gonzalez. I am the owner. How you doing, counsel?
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. If you could please just briefly present the proposed concept to the board.
I'm just serving a fast food. I'm just trying to serve a fast food, a quick fast food service place. I'm sorry, and we're just looking to get our CV license to go to operate the business. My hours will be from 11 in the morning to 11 p.m. I received numerous support from the local neighbors and the community, as you know, we wish to serve them. I'm just trying to get what I'm gonna say. I'm just trying to bring something good to the community to service the college area students and people in a fast paced, timely manner as they get to work and home from work and stuff like that. So our first floor is not that big. It's kind of really small. As you enter, it's probably about 3 feet, 4 feet of space for people to order. It's just a quick thing. I have the counter. I have to the left, like you said, a beverage machine. I have a hot case on top of a display case for my desserts and treats. Also, behind the register is a painting with 2 TVs for the menu. And behind that is our little kitchen, which we have a fryer later, a griddle, a prep kitchen, oven, and two fridges. Downstairs where I will be prepping, which it was approved by the 1010 health department. They allowed me to prep down there as it was a catering place before.
Kevin, are there any seats, or is it takeout only?
It's only takeout, no seats. We just have a little bar, like a bar counter is about maybe a foot.
Okay. Do you plan on partnering up with Uber Eats?
Yes, I do.
DoorDash? Okay,
I'm actually partners with DoorDash as of the moment and Grubhub.
Grubhub, okay. Are there any issues with double parking there? Just looking at the location.
I haven't had any issues right as the moment. But that has been a question to a few butters. They have asked if we do if we are planning on getting any at least 15-minute parking for the scooters and stuff like that.
Okay, it's mostly scooters.
Yes.
Alrighty. Keep an eye on that as you open and work with the neighbors on that.
Yes, we'll do.
Nice. I have no questions, Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
I do not, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify in this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the mayor is also going to defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information in the community process. ONS hosted a butters meeting on June 5th. I was lightly attended, however, there was a resident on that vocalized their support for this proposal. The applicant then went on to meet with the Columbia Savin Hill Civic Association, which was supportive. With that information, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this
I'm
under
sorry,
advisement.
is this
Oh,
for
sorry.
last year? Is this
Excuse
for
me?
the Hardin? Is this for the Hardin?
Nope, this is for the Munchie Station. El Hardin is towards the end of this agenda.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank
No
you.
worries. Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on item number 1, the Munchie Station? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 2, Akoyan LLC, doing business as Oba Bakery, located at 16 Brighton Ave in Alston, has applied for a common victular license to be exercised on the above 1,195 square feet. Ground floor restaurant with takeout, front is counter and display cases, and customer entrance waiting area. Kitchen and prep area is in the back, along with the office and storage area. Employee bathroom in the rear of the first floor. Manager Atabe Akoyan, hours of operation 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant? Oh, hang on, I can see you speaking, but you're on mute. I've just asked you to unmute. There we go.
Hi everyone, my name is Atabi Akkoyun. I am the business owner, the legal name Akkoyun LLC, and doing business as Oba Bakery. I am located at 16 Brighton Avenue, Alston. I am here today for my common virtual license in order to operate a bakery in this location. And this is, as you stated, 1,195 square feet ground floor. And I have a counter in front and customer entrance, waiting area, takeout, catering, delivery services. And I have a 3-deck stone oven for baking purposes. And I have a kitchen prep area. And I have a storage and office area in the back. And on the rear right corner, I have an employee restroom. And also exit door in the back, service entrance, employee entrance. And yeah, that's all.
Thank you very much. Will your bakery have any seats or tables?
I don't have seating for people to eat food. I have limited like bar top just for customer waiting area. While they pick up their order, they can have like seat while they are waiting for their order to get ready.
Okay, and so you'll be doing takeout, will you be doing delivery or partnering with any third-party delivery services?
Correct. I'm going to be partnering with Uber Eats, DoorDash, GrabHub for delivery services.
Okay,
And also I'm going to be like cater food to, local businesses.
okay. And do you plan to operate 7 AM to 9 PM?
Correct.
And so no pickup or delivery after 9 PM?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
I do not.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify in this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. ONS had the applicant circulate flyers to abutters within 300 feet. Unaware of any feedback at this time. The applicant then went on to meet with the Alston Civic Association, which offered their support for the proposal. And they submitted a letter this morning the board should have a copy of. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much. Calling item number 3, Selly Family Group LLC, doing business as McDonald's, located at 100 Legends Way. Holder of a common victular license has petitioned to change the closing hour of the licensed business from 11 PM to 3 AM with deliveries only between 12 AM and 3 AM. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dennis Quilty, attorney representing the applicant, the licensee actually before you this morning. This is an existing business within the TD Garden campus on Causeway Street and Legends Way. The applicants have been before you on a number of other locations they own to do a similar change of hours for deliveries. This amounts to an extension by 1 hour of the closing hour operationally till midnight and then till 3 AM for deliveries only. From this location, we have met with the West End Civic Association and they have given a letter of non-opposition. As a result of that meeting, they're the only interest group, if you will, in the immediate area. ONS did not require an abutters meeting. We're unaware of any objections. And again, these folks have been licensed by the board for 2 or 3 other locations for the same type of late delivery only application. And we're happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you. Did you guys work out with the neighborhood association where the takeout and pickup area will be?
Yes, ma'am. And I think it's in their letter.
Okay. I know there was conversation about it. I'll get to
Yeah,
that.
it says the discussion focused on exactly that. So the Nashua Street pedestrian corridor or the loading dock at the east end of North Station. So they're quite specific about where they wanted it to take place.
And you're okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
No additional questions from me. Thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. I will defer to the board at this time. As you heard from the applicant's representation, they met with the West End Civic Association. The Civic initially had some concerns regarding double parking. The applicant pledged to work with civics and other neighbors and abutters in the area to address those concerns, as well as any potential late night disturbances. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other
Thanks,
individuals who
Tom.
would like to testify? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 4, the Newman School, located at 298 to 300 Newbury Street, has applied for a lodging house dormitory license to be exercised on the above a 4-story brownstone building with 5 rooms on the 2nd floor, 6 rooms on the 3rd floor, 6 rooms on the 4th floor. Facilities include laundry, kitchens, dining, and living rooms. Manager Michael Schaefer, who is present on behalf of the applicant.
I am. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Green. Thank you for having me here today. Mike Ross, attorney with the law firm of Prince Lobel, One International Place in Boston. I'm here on behalf of the proposed licensee, the Newman School. With me is, as you mentioned, Michael Schaefer, the head of school and proposed manager of record, and Julie Borazzo, the assistant head of school. As you stated, Attorney Green, we are here before you today to request a dormitory license for the building at 298-300 Newberry Street. The Newman School is a private middle and high school located nearby in the Back Bay at 247 Marlborough Street. Its boarding program is not new to the school's operation. The proposed licensee currently has 2 dorms on Beacon Street, where 40 students currently live. So it's well-versed in managing a property of this kind and supervising students outside of normal school hours. As detailed in the application that we filed, the building is a 4-story brownstone. The school is pursuing building permits from the city along with all related approvals for interior renovations and minor exterior work. The plans for the student to live on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floors, totaling 17 rooms with capacity for a total of 41 beds. The garden level is where the kitchen and the main dining room for the students will be, as well as laundry and utilities. And the 1st floor is where the main entrance foyer is, the living and dining rooms, and 2 studio apartments for the purposes of housing Newman School faculty and staff. As far as supervision and dorm management goes, Michael is the proposed manager of record. He's very experienced in this kind of role, having been with the Newman School since 2020, and then prior to that, 2 boarding schools. Given the age of the students, they will be closely supervised and monitored to ensure their safety and well-being. The school will implement its existing dorm protocols, which we provided to the board ahead of today's meeting. And it details everything from the responsibilities for faculty members on duty, the daily check-ins, what happens if a student feels ill, to fire safety regulations and the like in the dorm room. We did hold an abutters meeting on August 27th with an ONS here before NAB's Licensing and Building Use Committee on September 9th, who let us know that they were not opposing this application. And I'll pause there, Madam Chair, if there's any questions.
Thank you. Thanks for that explanation. Just a little bit more about, so there'll be faculty living in the 2 studios. How do students get in and out? Is it card access? Who else has access to the building?
There'll be a fob system on the main front door that students and faculty will have access to.
By a card, is it?
Yeah, by a card. I don't know, Michael, if you want to elaborate on that. It's what kind of the security itself, if you could.
Yeah, currently we're in a key system, but we're going to convert to a fob and or a card system, depending upon which is most effective.
And are there security cameras outside?
We will be
Yes.
installing security cameras, yes.
Okay. I don't think I have any questions based upon your description and testimony. Commissioner Saxon, Commissioner Kern, do you?
I do not. Thank you.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office deferred to the judgment of this board. ONS had hosted a butters meeting on August 27th, which I understand was a productive meeting with no concerns raised. They went on to meet with the Neighborhood Association of Back Bay that was unconcerned as well. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 5, Commonwealth Land Trust doing business as 250 Seaver Street LLC, located at 250 Seaver Street in Dorchester, has applied for a lodging house license to be exercised on the above 16-unit single-room occupancy lodging house plus 1 office for case management. Total of 4 floors, 17 rooms, 16 residents. 3 rooms in the basement, 4 rooms on the 1st floor, 6 rooms on the 2nd floor, 4 rooms on the 3rd floor. Manager Dina Herrera, who is present on behalf of the applicant.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Attorney Derek Small of a business address at 51 Dobson Road. With me today is Eva Comey, who is the president and CEO of Commonwealth Land Trust. And we also have our architect, Michael Finch, available to answer any questions with regard to the plans. So we're here today seeking relief for a lodging house license for 16 rooms at 250 Seaver Street. We had a robust community process with regard to this project, and on August 27th, 2024, we received our ZBA approvals to change the zoning of the building to a lodging house for 16 lodgers. I can turn it over to Eva Comey and she can answer any questions and talk about a little bit about CLT. Eva?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Our organization is a nonprofit that has served the Boston area since 1985. We operate several permanent supportive housing locations, and this will be the latest addition to our portfolio. As Derek pointed out, we have engaged with the community. We have had an extensive outreach process. We do plan to provide on-site case management services. We also have our own property management team. With me is Dina Herrera, who is the Assistant Director for Housing at CLT. If you want to say hi.
Hi, everyone.
I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. So that is the manager is with you? The manager of the
Correct, yes.
lodging house? Okay, and we'll, I don't know who wants to speak for my next question, but will she be living there? What will her hours be?
No, there will be 16 lodgers. We maintain a presence between 9 and 5. As I pointed out, we have our own property management team. So we have a maintenance team that will be on site, and we also have case management coverage.
So what is Dina's role?
She will be the property manager, so she will be taking care of compliance, leasing, and so on. All of the units will be subsidized. So there is an extensive compliance process involved with that.
And will she be there from 9 to 5?
Or somebody? We manage a lot of this out of our main office, which is at 1059 Tremont Street. But we do maintain some office hours.
Can you give me an idea, like approximately how many hours a week there's a staff person there from the management company, or how do lodgers get in touch with someone? How do neighbors get in touch with someone if there's an issue?
Yeah, absolutely. So the case manager, there will be a case manager that will be there between 9 and 5. And they work closely with the residents. The property managers go on site as needed. And there's a maintenance person that will be there on site as well every day or every business day. We do have an emergency number the residents can call, but a lot of them contact us through their case managers because that's who they see the most.
Okay, and 2 more questions from me. How long is the average stay, and how do lodgers access their room?
So this is permanent supportive housing. The residents have leases, they're long-term leases, therefore initially for a period of 1 year, and then they get renewed. 10, we anticipate that 10 of the units will have MRVP subsidies, which are subsidies from the state, and 6 will have rental assistance through the state as well. And what was your other question?
Access to the room.
Oh, access to the rooms. I mean, Dina, do you want to speak to that? Yeah, they will have.
Yeah.
We have a key fob system, so each resident has a unit and their own key. But was there anything specific?
At moving, every resident will get a key and document, with the phone numbers for case managers, for emergency, for the property manager, as well with the key to access the building and the units.
And I also wanted to add that we currently operate about.
Just frozen. CLT currently operates about 300 units in the greater Boston area.
Okay. My last question is security cameras. Do you have security cameras outside?
We do have security cameras, yes. We plan to have security cameras.
Great. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you have any questions?
Not at this time, thank you.
Nope, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services like to defer to the judgment of this board. ONS had run an abutters meeting on May 22nd of 2024. There were 24 participants. A number of residents spoke out in opposition, expressing concerns regarding parking, quality of life issues, the density that was being proposed, as well as potential crime in the area. The applicant went on to meet with the Garrison Trotter Neighborhood Association, which was opposed unless the occupancy was dropped down to 12 units. The applicant did go on to meet with the Zoning Board of Appeals and receive board approval. With that we also received, one letter of support and one letter in opposition, which we forwarded to the board this morning. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
Just to clarify,
I was
some
gonna
of what was reported. Yeah, go ahead, Derek.
No, just to clarify, we did receive support for from the Nazing Street Neighborhood Association and from Project Right, as we did come to a compromise because this project originally started at 20 lodgers, and then we reduced it to 16, and then at the Board of Appeals and throughout the community process, we did end up getting support for the project from those groups.
Great, thank you for that clarification. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify? I see a hand raised from Nora Lutz. You may please provide your testimony.
Morning, everyone. I'm Nora Lutz. I'm a development officer with the Mayor's Office of Housing. Commonwealth Land Trust has applied to the Mayor's Office of Housing for funding related to the proposal before you today. CLT has refined their project based on feedback received through numerous community and abutter meetings. The Mayor's Office of Housing is in support of this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement.
I'm not sure if you can hear me. I'm on the telephone.
We can hear you.
My name is Steve Wilkins, also of Commonwealth Land Trust, and I just wanted to do a little affirmation that I did meet with all the neighbors and they did agree to the change from the 20 to 16. I know originally the letter did say 12, and with our commitment to the community and our relationships that we had with them, they were very willing to change it, and they did change it before the zoning meeting and now for licensing. I think that they're really in support of the project now that we've met probably more than a dozen times. Thank you.
Great, thank you again for that clarification. Once more, are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Great, with that, the board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 6, NKOTB Lessee LLC, doing business as Revere Hotel Rebels Guild, located at 196 to 200 Stewart Street. Holder of an in-holder all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Mark Fisher to Sean Howe, who is present on behalf of the licensee.
Hi, good morning, Sean here.
Great. Thank you very much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Chairman Joyce, if you want to go through the manager of record.
Yep, sorry about that. Excuse me, Mr. Howe, are you a citizen?
I am.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes.
What is your experience in the food and beverage industry?
I have been in hotel management for about 20 years.
And are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes.
With that, I have no further questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
I do not, thank you.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 7, Del Frisco's of Boston LLC, doing business as Del Frisco's, located at 230 Northern Ave. Holder of a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager from Nicholas Phelps to Michael Velitsky. On behalf of the licensee.
Michael Velitsky, me.
Thank you for joining us. Mr. Belitsky, are you a citizen?
Yes,
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
yes, I am.
What is your experience in the food and beverage industry?
I've been a manager / general manager in and around the city of Boston for over 20 years.
And lastly, are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. I have no further questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you. Calling item number 8, Clover Ventures LLC, doing business as Bostonia Public House located at 131 State Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to pledge the license to Northern Bank and Trust Company. Who's present on behalf of the licensee?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Elizabeth Pisano from Upton, Connell, and Devlin on behalf of the licensee. Clover Ventures LLC is applying to pledge its liquor license to Northern Bank and Trust Company as security for a loan. And that is all there is to it. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Just one question. Can you share what the purpose of the loan is for?
I don't know all the details. I think Patrick Silva should be on here.
Yes, hello, Madam Chairman, members of the board. As to the purpose of the loan, it was to secure additional funding for opening a possible second location, as well as other business ventures in the hospitality industry.
Great. I appreciate that explanation. I have no further questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? And the board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Calling item number 9, SSP America Inc., doing business as Pete's at Night, located at 500 Terminal Road in East Boston within Logan Airport. Holder of an airport common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the closing hour of the licensed business from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Attorney Amanda Taylor. Attorney Taylor?
Hi, yes, Amanda Taylor here on behalf of SSP America Inc. This is an existing business at Logan Airport doing business as Pete's at Night. And they're just looking to change the closing hour from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Based on the departures in the terminal. And I believe Jackie is the manager is here as well, although I don't see her name, so I'm not sure if she joined on a phone or not. But if you have any questions, I'm sure I can answer.
Thank you very much. I think she is here.
Good morning. I'm here.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
My only question is, how long have you been at this location?
Well, we just opened Pete's at Night in July of this year, but I've been with SSP for 10 years at Logan. This is our 5th bar location, and I am the manager on record for all the others.
Okay. So you've been open since July. Have you been noticing a increased number of customers coming and wanting the extended hours?
Well, this particular location is in the international terminal, which happens to have just a lot more late night departures than the other terminals, which is why we are requesting the adjustment in the hours.
Very helpful. Thank you. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Calling item number 10, Cafe Dello Sport Inc., doing business as Cafe Dello Sport, located at 308 Hanover Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Angelo Cataneo to Myvan Spencer. And secondly, has petitioned for a change of officers directors. Finally, is petitioned for a change of stock interest. Who's present on behalf of the applicant?
I am Myvan Spencer. Morning.
Morning, Mr. Spencer. If you could please just briefly present the proposed changes to the board.
This is a family-run business. My grandfather is Angelo Catania. He's always been the business owner. He passed away about a year and a half ago. So I'm just transferring stock ownership, management, and everything into my name. I've been involved in the business over 20 years, and still here every day in day-to-day operations.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer. So you'll be the manager of record.
Yes.
Are you a citizen?
Yes.
Do you live in Massachusetts?
Yes.
You already described that you've worked there for 20 years. You've been in the business. Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Saxon, Commissioner Curran, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 11, 326B LLC, doing business as Red Fox, located at 326 to 328 Commercial Street. Holder of a common victual or 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed premise from 2,868 square feet in 3 rooms and kitchen on basement level of 326 to 328 Commercial Street, with dining areas, raw bar, seated bar, storage and office space, and wine cellar, to 3 rooms and kitchen on basement level of 326 to 328 Commercial Street, with dining areas and seated bar, 11 seats at bar in front room, together with additional dining area and seated raw bar with 7 seats at the second bar with alcohol service. Storage and office space and wine cellar, 2,868 square feet total. Secondly, the applicant has petitioned to change the DBA of the licensed business from Red Fox to Red Fox and Extra Dirty. Attorney Bill Ferrulo. Attorney Ferrulo?
Good morning, Attorney Green, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board. I'm here representing 326B LLC, business on Commercial Street in the North End, owned by Nick Frateroli, who owns several other licensed premises. We are here because we're amending the description to clarify that the rear room of this restaurant will be known as the Extra Dirty, as in martini room, and that the raw bar that we currently have will also allow for service of alcohol at that bar in the rear as opposed to the bar in the front. The purpose of this is similar to a concept that we initiated at Chow Roma, another restaurant in the North End, where we have a room that's known as Pharmacia, the Italian word for pharmacy. And what it is it's a room where we submitted a protocol for Pharmacia to the board for you to look at and consider, is that we do a very fixed setup there, which is we do curated cocktails served with small plates, and it's done by reservation online. It's a situation where we create 2 or 3 different cocktails and complementary foods that go with that complement the service. And we usually try to run that twice a night. They last about 2 hours. It's sort of a demonstration of the making of the drinks and an explanation of why the food is being served with those particular drinks. The menu and the drinks are at a fixed price. It usually runs somewhere between $60 to $80, depending on what we're serving. You can also order items off the menu if you wish to have additional food. As mentioned, you have a set time to be in and be seated. And then the changeover, again, is at a set time where you either leave the premises or you can go, for example, to the bar on the premises if you want to stay on premise. As mentioned, generally reservations only. If there are open seats, we will take a payment for people. There are no standees. It's limited to the seats in the room, meaning there are 7 seats at a small bar, and there are 12 seats at 3 tables in that room. And again, it's done as is booked, meaning if we book 2 seatings for the night, then we'll do two. If we book one, we do one. If we haven't booked any, then it's just part of the restaurant. With that, we'll answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Attorney. You did a great job explaining that. I actually don't have any questions at this time. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
I do not, thank you.
I do not either. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Calling item number 12, CPCB LLC, doing business as Cornish Pasty, located at 51A Massachusetts Ave, holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license, has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Yoshida Omakase LLC at the same location. Gabrielle Moriso, manager, 12 a.m. closing hour. The applicant has also petitioned to update the description of the premise as follows. Street level and basement level contain 2,276 square feet. First level is for dining, ADA compliant bathroom, kitchen and preparation areas. Basement level is for storage, separate preparation area, and dish cleaning and washing. Street level has one doorway for ingress and egress, and the basement level has a second doorway for ingress egress for delivery of all supplies. Attorney Brian Burke. Attorney Burke. I see you here in the waiting room. Are you with us? Just one moment. We can take a second call and come back if Attorney Burke is not ready.
The manager of record is here.
Yeah, we are. I'm the owner of the Yoshida, and our manager Gabby is with me. I'm so sorry that the attorney Brian is not available at this moment. Is there any question we can answer? We'll be happy to, provide the information.
Okay, do you want to talk a little bit about the transfer and the concept of this new restaurant at this location?
Oh, absolutely.
Attorney Burke is here. I'm sorry.
Great. Thank you very much for being with us.
Would someone like to?
Sure, I could give you a quick rundown. This is a transfer of license and an alteration of the premises. The previous holders of the license were the India Samad restaurant, and then it was transferred over to the Cornish Pastry, and we are now in the process of doing the build out for a kind of a boutique-ish omakase restaurant, a bit of a high-end menu where it's the chef's choice, and we're looking forward to opening the restaurant in a couple of months, or if we're lucky. We've gone through the AAB process with the renovations to make sure that we're compliant with the ADA issues that may arise. So we have seating as well as a very I want to say it's a high-end bathroom, if you will, but it was in conjunction with the AAB that we've developed the plans for the restaurant. There'll be 29 seats. The occupancy is 55 people. On Exhibit M, you could see the floor plan. We have had some discussions with the adjoining restaurants in the area. We've gone there, have introduced ourselves, and they're all very excited about the idea of having another high-end restaurant coming into the area. So thank you, members of the board. If you have any questions, I have with me Iverson, is Zhen Guo, who's one of the owners of the restaurant, as well as Gabrielle Moriso, who is the manager as well.
Thank you. I do have some questions. Ms. Moriso, are you a citizen?
Good morning. Yes, I am.
Thank you. Are you a resident of Massachusetts?
Yes, I am.
What is your experience in the food and beverage industry?
I have over 20 years of experience in the food and beverage industry.
Thank you. Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, the laws of the Commonwealth pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol?
I am, yes.
Great, thank you for joining us. Thank you all for joining us. I don't have any other questions. Commissioner Saxon, Commissioner Curran, do you?
Not at this time, thank you.
None for me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Okay, are there any other individuals who would like to testify? I see a hand raised from Conrad Armstrong. I'm going to ask you to unmute and you may please provide your testimony.
I'm Conrad Armstrong, 439 Marlborough Street, representing the Neighborhood Association of Back Bay. This application did not go through the community process. I only found out by noticing it on the agenda, and I did not have contact information for the attorney, so I wasn't able to reach out before this meeting. But we are happy to have them talk to us at our next meeting, which is October 7th.
Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Calling item number 13, La Roca Inc., doing business as Dolce Vita, located at 221 Hanover Street. Holder of a common victular, 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license, has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Martinetti Restaurant Group LLC, doing business as Bar Martinetti at the same location. Robert Martinetti, manager, 12 a.m. closing hour. The applicant has also petitioned to update the description of the premise as follows: in one room on first floor, comprised of various dining areas, bar and restroom in rear, together with additional dining room, restrooms, kitchen, and storage in the basement, 3,590 square feet total. Additionally, the applicant has petitioned to remove the following condition from the license: malt and wine with liqueurs to be served only in conjunction with meals. Attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Good morning again, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board. Excuse me, Dennis Quilty, attorney representing the applicant before you this morning, Martinetti Restaurant LLC. The Martinettis are here, Robert and Dan Martinetti of the family. Robert is the proposed manager of record. This is an application for a corp-to-corp transfer, no change of location. This is the former Dolce Vita restaurant at 221 Hanover Street, which the Martinettis hope to, are in the process of purchasing, obviously, and hope to open as a new restaurant at the same site, DBA Bar Martinetti. The only other change operationally is the request to add 1 hour to the closing hour and to remove a proviso, a dated proviso for service of alcohol with food only. And again, Mr. Martinetti has extensive experience, he and his family, in the restaurant business. They own and operate Faces Brewing Company that have since 2019. He's a U.S. citizen. He's a Mass resident, and we are happy to answer any questions you may have. We've also gone through the community process and have support from both Newrot and Nunick. Again, we're happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you very much.
Oh, Chairman Joyce, you're on mute right now.
Thanks. My only question for Mr. Martinetti is, are you familiar with the rules and regs of this board, ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol?
Oh, you're muted.
They don't appear to be muted, but we cannot hear you.
Can't hear you.
I'll take a nod if you want to. Yes, no.
Did you hear that? Can you just nod? Yeah.
Great. For the record, he's saying he is familiar. Commissioner Saxon, Commissioner Curran, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
No questions, thanks.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Our office is unaware of any concerns at this time, and as you heard from the applicant's representation, they reached out to both civic associations, secured their support. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thanks, Connor.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Calling item number 14, Cannonball Cafe LLC, doing business as Cannonball Cafe, located at 383 Dorchester Ave in South Boston. Holder of a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to 383 Lot LLC, doing business as Park City at the same location. Michael Shaw, manager, 12 a.m. closing hour. Secondly, the applicant has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed premise from cafe on one floor with counter service and seating for 26 patrons, an annual patio located on private property with seating for 24, operated from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week year round, and approximately 31,463 square feet of outdoor space for special functions and events on private property. 2, premise comprised of an approximately 30,000 square foot outdoor space and 2,579 square feet of interior space for storage, coolers, and prep space. Outdoor space with 1 bar with seating for 40, 2 bars for walk-up service, various tables, cabanas, stadium, and other types of seating for 440, structure for food service and space for lawn games, activities, and stage for live music. And finally, the applicant has petitioned to pledge the license to Cannonball Cafe LLC. Who's present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning, Secretary Green, Attorney Joe Hanley, McDermott, Quilty, Miller and Hanley, 28 State Street in Boston. Here with Michael Shaw, who has his name is Megid Landon on the screen, but Michael is the applicant and the proposed manager of record. Just briefly to give you an overview here, as was written into the record. So the existing licensee operates out of Cannonball Cafe, which is a small coffee shop cafe on the west side of Dot Ave near Andrew Square. It is a landlord entity that related entity that owns and runs the cafe. And over the last 2 years, with the approval of this board, the cafe's license was amended to include the same area that we're here today, which is approximately 30,000 square feet of activation space. This space is part of a 22-acre master plan development that was approved by the city and that Core Investments owns and operates. So Core is not in the restaurant business, but in the last 2 years, in partnership with the Andrew Square community and the neighborhood as a whole, they have operated a series of events who have been very successful with food and beverage with that beer and wine license. It has been a huge success. There have been no violations or no issues, so much so that Core has now found an experienced local operator so that we can have this activation space on a permanent basis. And in that, we have the folks from Broadway Restaurant Group led by Mike Shaw, who is the manager of record and a 1/3 owner on the proposed licensee entity, along with his partners, Eric Ullenbach and Mike Conlon. As the chair and the board knows, these individuals have been approved and are existing operators, not just in the city, but in the South Boston neighborhood. They run excellent establishments. Mike, in particular, is also a South Boston resident. He's raising his family in the neighborhood and came to know Core in this opportunity basically as a patron with his family for what is called the lot. So the new proposal is to transfer the existing beer, wine, and cordials license out of the small cafe. Cannonball Cafe has approximately 29 seats, 26 outdoor seats. They'll continue to operate under their CV, Madam Chair, and the beer and wine license will go to the activation space, which you see on the floor plan that will now have more permanent fixtures, restrooms, activation space, separate modular dining and activity areas, which you can see on the floor plan. So the transaction for this is $200,000 for the liquor license, which is being financed by Cannonball Cafe LLC, again, which is the licensee, the transferee. And there's approximately $1 million in improvements that are being invested in by the new tenant, by Mike Shaw and his group, for their concept called Park City. And it's all about celebrating the outdoor, bringing folks in a real family-friendly environment. They'd also like to operate until 12 midnight, so not terribly late. We were operating till 10:30 previously with the cafe license in the activation space. So modest change to the hours of operations. It's a 10-year lease that Mike Shaw and his group will have to operate. And Mike is the manager of record. I know you'll go through your standard questions, but he's also approved manager by the board and the ABCC. So we really think that we've checked all the boxes here for a great concept to continue things that have been really a contributor to the community. And I want to thank the Andrew Square Civic Association and the elected officials and all the neighbors, the moms group in South Boston, who have really helped and are our key partner with this activation space, and will continue to help guide Mike Shaw and the team as we make this a permanent amenity for the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thanks, attorney. You did a great job explaining it. Thank you, Mike, for joining us today. Since you already are an approved manager, I'm not going to go through those 4 questions. Just going to say, wish you luck. I have no questions further from me. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
I do not. Thank you.
None from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. We're unaware of any concerns at this time. I see Patty and Linda's hands are up from the Andrew Square Civic Association. I know that the applicant met with them earlier this week. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chairs and members of the board. Laura here from Constable Flynn's office. At this point, he would like to go on record and support based on a good community process and positive communication between the establishment lead team and the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will move to members of the public wishing to testify. The first hand I see raised is Patty McCormick. Ms. McCormick, I'm going to ask you, yep, you've just unmuted yourself. May you please provide your testimony.
Yeah, thank you. Patty McCormick from Andrew Square Civic Association. And Mike Shaw and Joe Hanley presented plans for Park City at our meeting this past Monday. And it was no surprise that members overwhelmingly supported it, therefore supporting the transfer of the license at 383 Dot Ave. The lot has revitalized a section of Dorchester Ave, bringing foot traffic, baby carriages, and positive energy to an area that was desolate and depressing. We welcome Mike Shaw and his team to add more programming and creative spaces for our residents, families, and visitors. It's been a long time coming, but Andrew Square is finally a destination, and would like to thank CORE and their partners for your vision. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. The next hand I see raised is from Linda Zablocki. Ms. Zablocki, I've asked you to unmute, and you may please provide your testimony as well.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Excellent. I would like to add everything that Patty said. I am absolutely in agreement with her, but I would also like to add that the Broadway Restaurant Group, what they do precedes them, and we are thrilled to have them down in that area. That was an area that people would look forward to going down to maybe once a month when something was scheduled for on the lot. Now we will have something that you can go down there and be there with your family, a family-friendly area and outdoors, so that we have the air all around us. And I think it's a great idea and a great concept. And as Patty said, the Andrew Square Civic voted completely in support of it, and everybody that I have spoken to is very excited about having this come down to our neighborhood. So we are thrilled. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The next hand I see raised is from Greg Donovan. Mr. Donovan, you may also unmute and provide your testimony.
Good morning, Chairman Green and members of the board. First of all, I am here in opposition, and I'm going to keep this under 2 minutes. But I'd first like to tell you is that I 100% agree that Mike Shaw, Eric Allenbach, and Mike Conlon are the best operators there is. 100%, hands down, they're my personal friends. So I'm here to actually debunk what Attorney Hanley has laid out as this transition from Cannonball to this acre site as just being this smooth transition. What has been left out here is that Core Investments and John Cecil has announced a few days ago in the Boston Business Journal, dated 9/18 of 24 edition, that they have a $75 million soil contamination cleanup next door, known as On the Dot. And this is all part of the same site, but it's next door. Mr. Cecil stated that you cannot stand on the site for more than 10 minutes safely. A few days later, Core Investments is announcing that they're teaming up with the BRG Group, which is my friends, for a license transfer to take their placeholder, which was Cannonball Cafe, which has no issues down there at all, which is correct because no one actually goes there. There's 1 or 2 people that sit in that cafe at best, which is typically just someone sitting on their computer that probably works for Core. No one goes there. It's desolate, 100% agree. That's just a placeholder for the license to be used for a stage show, which they're going to try to use my friends as an operator to create a life on Dorchester Ave, and then expose them during this cleanup of a $75 million cleanup that is infested with PCBs. PCBs and the DEP file for the record is RTE 3-35522. All the lawyers involved are very, very familiar with it's done by Vertex Engineering. It's a site because there was a scrapyard. It's heavily contaminated with metals, and PCBs are absorbed through your skin and through your mouth. And on this site, they're going to have concert venues.
Just to let you know.
You're going to have markets for selling food, people drinking alcohol, people bringing their families, unsuspecting families, and then just feet away, you're going to have a $75 billion cleanup, which needs to get done so we can move Dorchester Ave forward. But at the same time, using the BRG Group and using our community to show vibrance in the area. This vibrance in the area should be done after the cleanup. And by allowing this to take place first and during is totally unacceptable in putting our neighbors, our children, our family at risk, and also what happens to the BRG Group when they realize they have to shut this down.
Thank
This
you,
needs
Mr.
to go to
Donovan.
the
You
Board
are
of Health.
you are well over your 2 minutes at this point. You can submit anything further in writing to the board at licensingboard@boston.gov.
Okay, and I did submit it into Wendy Law on the record as well. So I do employ you to further take this onto the table and do not grant this license because it is irresponsible of the board to do this time without further information.
Thank you for that, Mr. Donovan. Attorney Hanley, I see you've unmuted yourself.
Yeah, just a point of clarification. It's nice to see Mr. Donovan on. I appreciate his comments, but just they're not correct. So when he talks about, first of all, this has nothing to do with the 9 acres that he's referring to. It's not steps away. It's on the other side of Damrell and Alger Street, Alger Street. So it has nothing to do with this location. This is not the contaminated site. As I mentioned, it's 22 acres. And Cannonball Cafe is actually very popular. Having said that, over the last 2 years, I don't know if Mr. Donovan's had the opportunity to be down there, but as you heard from Patty McCormick and Linda from the actual Andrew Square neighborhood, there have been dozens and dozens of successful events with food, beverage, and alcohol service. And we are merely bringing in a really experienced operator to continue that in the way that the community has already spoken to. The other thing, I don't know what Mr. Donovan's ownership interest may be. I don't think he mentioned it. I don't think he lives nearby, but maybe he has an interest in some property, and this could be related to something that really has nothing to do with this case. So thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you.
Chairman, if I may respond to that, just for clarification, my name is Greg Donovan. My business address is 339 Dorchester Street. I live in South Boston. I live at 46 N Street in South Boston. I also raised my family here, just like a lot of people on this call. and I also own property at 7 Ellery Street. But once you peel back the capped layer, which is enclosing the PCBs, and I didn't say foot away, Alger Street abuts the Cannonball site that they're talking about. That's misleading of what Attorney Hanley is saying. This just needs to be looked at. I'm not saying it shouldn't happen in the future. It just shouldn't happen at this moment, because you cannot have a $75 million cleanup and then have an outdoor venue with our children's babies and families and a market just for the reason of telling a story so we can get a project underway that there's life down there. It's not going to be at the health and safety of our community or anyone else involved. And by granting this, without having a full, transparent conversation with professionals and everyone involved, then we go forward. But by allowing this is totally irresponsible of the board and everyone involved until the left and the right hand all communicate and are up front.
Thank you, Mr. Donovan.
Just to close this out though, so this is all transparent. It's all on the DEP website. There is no use restriction. This is 383 Dorchester Ave. It's not the former junkyard site, which is further away, which has been capped by Corps and has a control in place. So there is nothing to be resolved here. This site was also approved by the ABCC and the licensing board for what is being used and what has been used for the last 2 years. There is no environmental issue here.
Chairman, when you
it certainly
uncap
has
it-
nothing to do with the license.
Chairman, when you uncap it is when this site becomes exposure. That's why it's capped. And that's why when you read the business journal from the
We'll take a look. We'll take a look. Thank you.
and that's why it's going to
This
tell you
issue.
can't stand on the site for 10 minutes and then you're going to have an outdoor venue. Then you can't sell a tomato because it's absorption through food. You can't even have it. It will even goes into the fact of fish and wildlife. It's one of the most highly contaminated sites in the state, and that's why it's capped. Is because yes, right now you can do it for the moment. As soon as they do this $75 million cleanup, which they need state and federal funding, which they talk about, then it's a game changer. And then they're like, oh, we're down the street. Oh, we're a couple feet away. We're not in this. It's misleading. It needs to be reviewed. It needs to be looked at.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank
We
you.
will. Thanks.
Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
I think you have Linda's hands up too.
Sure. Linda, you have provided testimony already. Is there anything additional you want to add?
I just wanted to make a suggestion that I think that once you've spoken, you should be unmuted again until you raise your hand again. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Are there any further questions from the board? Board will take this matter under advisement. If there is any additional material you'd like the board to review, that can be submitted at licensingboard@boston.gov. The record will stay open until 5 o'clock today. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Calling item number 15, Turnaround Sushi Inc., doing business as Crave Mad for Chicken, located at 75 Neeland Street. Holder of a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license, has petitioned to transfer the license and location from the above to Hunsa Inc., doing business as Kala Thai Cookery, located at 151 Hanover Street. Premise consists of 1,350 square feet on the first floor, with dining area in front of space with seating for 19, kitchen and storage in rear, 1 handicap accessible bathroom, 2 entrances exits. Manita Bonagat Karn, manager, 12 a.m. closing hour. The board may recall this applicant was before the board in 2022 seeking a new license, was approved pending availability, and now is back seeking the transfer of same license at the same location. Who's present on behalf of the applicant?
I'm here. Good morning, everyone. My name is Manita. I'm here on behalf of Kala Thai Cookery for Commonwealth 7 days wine and malt beverages with liquor. We are located at 151 Hanover Street in Boston, and I'm here to, answer any question if, and anyone has.
Thank you very much for joining us. So you are the manager?
Yes, I'm the manager and the chef owner.
And the chef owner, okay. So I have some standard questions to ask. Are you a citizen?
Yes, I am.
Are you a resident of Massachusetts?
Yes, I am.
Can you describe for us what your experience is in the food and beverage industry?
Yes, I've actually spent over 20 years in food beverages and most 15 years usually in the hotel settings. And I had the first restaurant open 10 years ago back in Watertown. And Kala Thai Cookery is my second restaurant, and we are running for almost 7 years right now.
Okay, great. Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of our board, the ABCC and the laws of the Commonwealth pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am.
Great. So how long has Thai Cookery been at this location?
Almost 7 years.
Okay. And can you explain how obtaining this license will add to your offerings?
Yes, Kala Thai Cookery goal is to serve the town with high quality fresh ingredients and delicious Thai cuisine at an affordable price. And since we gain a lot of customer and clientele in the past 7 years, I think adding the beverages would be the option for the customer to enhance the experience. We do not want to do the bar environment set up in the area. We want to keep the restaurant setting and let people enjoy the lunch and the dinner time.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Thank you for joining us. I don't have any further questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
No extra questions from me, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information in the community process. ONS hosted a butters meeting on September 16th. We didn't receive any feedback from the community, and there's no active civic association in this area. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Calling item number 16, Goggle Moggle Inc., doing business as Seabiscuit, located at 256 Marginal Street in East Boston. Holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to Self Up LLC, doing business as Self Up Cooking Classes, located at 19 Kingston Street. Premise consists of a multi-level commercial building, approximately 3,800 square feet, located at 19 Kingston Street, units 1 and 2. First floor is 1,900 square feet with 2 kitchens, 2 bathrooms and storage. Second floor is 1,900 square feet, consisting of a large open space, 1 bathroom and storage, and 2 kitchens, 49-person occupancy per floor. Valentino Peradina, manager, 10 p.m. closing hour. And secondly, the applicant has petitioned to change the license type from a Section 12 restaurant to a general on-premise license. Attorney Elizabeth Pisano. Attorney Pisano.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Elizabeth Pisano from Upton, Connell, and Devlin on behalf of the applicant Self Up LLC. This application is to transfer a wine and malts license from Goggle Moggle Inc. and to change the location to its already existing cooking school at 19 Kingston Street. They're also planning to change the license type from a Section 12 restaurant license to a Section 12 general on-premise. With me today is Greg Arsuni. He is one of the owners, and Valentino Peradina is the proposed manager of record. The cooking school is on 2 floors in the building located at 19 Kingston Street. There are 2 connected floors that each have 2 kitchens and storage with an occupancy of 48 per floor. The character and fitness of this applicant is well established. They've built a solid reputation here in Boston for the past 6 years as a cooking school known for providing high quality, interactive culinary experiences for both locals and tourists. They have 18 people on average in each class, and the classes run no longer than 3 hours. So there's no likelihood of people hanging around on site and drinking for long periods of time or late at night. The leadership team at Self Up brings extensive experience in the culinary and hospitality industry, and their backgrounds are well-versed to ensure best practices for operating an establishment like this, including the responsible service of food and alcohol. They have a proven track record of a well-run establishment since they've been open in 2018, and they've maintained compliance with all local regulations, and we don't expect anything to change if they were granted this license. The public need is quite significant here. Like I mentioned, it's already an existing cooking school, and there has been a demand for customers for alcohol service. Serving beer and wine would enhance the customer experience, and a cooking class is typically, a social immersive experience where a glass of wine or beer can complement the food that they're preparing. Many patrons expect to pair their dishes with alcoholic beverages that enhance the flavors and make the experience more sociable and enjoyable. They also want to meet the market expectations. Other cooking schools provide alcoholic beverages as part of theirs, and it's becoming increasingly common and an industry standard. The customers always would prefer an all-inclusive experience. So, if they had the option to serve alcohol, it would appeal to a broader customer base. And it would also help support their events and group bookings. The company has a lot of private events and, team building activities and special classes, and offering alcohol at these events could just be more appealing and offer to a broader clientele. And it'll allow them to join in this competitive market space. They will take the service of alcohol very seriously. They will have all of their chefs be tip certified. The manager of record is already tip certified. And for community outreach last year, this same applicant applied for a new license and met with Downtown Bid, to which they gave their full support. We reached out to them again when we were preparing to file this application, and they did not require another meeting, and they had sent in a letter of their support to the city. The manager of record, Valentino, has been assistant chef with Self Up for over 2 years now. He's a Massachusetts resident, U.S. citizen, and is familiar with the rules and regulations relating to the sale of alcohol, and he is tip certified. And we are happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. You did a great job explaining that. I just, is Mr. Paradina with us on the call today?
No, I'm here, Gag Kamarsruni, owner of Self-Up Cooking Classes. I'm open to any questions you might have.
Valentino, I'm not sure what happened. We actually are also going to be in the process of changing the manager of record over to Greg. He's recently become a U.S. citizen. So we're going to put an application in very soon to have him be named the manager of record if this application goes through. I don't know where Valentino is right now, but I don't know if you want to put this towards the end and we can come back.
Do you want to see if he can connect, and then we can just say that he appeared?
Yep.
Okay, because you did do all the questions, but it would be good for him to join.
Yep, absolutely. Greg, I'll call you once we pause this one.
Yeah, in the meantime, are there any other questions from Commissioner Carr and Commissioner Saxon on this application?
None for me, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you, and I will ask if there are any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives.
Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, we'll defer to the judgment of this board. As you heard from the applicant's representation, they received the enthusiastic support of the downtown bid. With that, defer to the board. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Great. Then Attorney Pisano, please do let me know if we can get Mr. Paradina on the line just for his appearance, and we will return to that item when you let me know that he is with us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We will move on for now, calling items 17 and 18, Boston Winery LLC. Doing business as Boston Winery located at 26 Erickson Street in Dorchester. Item 17 has applied for a Section 19C Farmer Brewery pouring license to be exercised on the above in one room on ground floor within the space shown as brewery tasting room on floor plan for pouring of malt beverages together with fermenting equipment in adjacent warehouse and storage rooms, 856 square feet total. Manager Ralph Bruno. And item 18 has applied for a 19H combined wines and malts pouring license to be exercised on the above. Premise to be licensed under Section 19.8 of Chapter 130H consists of 8,467 square feet in one large room on the ground floor of property containing various seated dining areas, storage, restrooms, and office space, production room, together with a seasonal April to November outdoor patio on private property. 11 p.m. patio closing hour and 11 p.m. indoor closing hour. Ralph Bruno, manager, attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Good morning again, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board. Dennis Quilty, attorney representing the licensee. With me is Ralph Bruno, the manager of record. This application is for the existing farmer winery licensee to add and become a farmer brewer license in addition to the winery. Interesting, they've been here since approximately the early 2000s. Interestingly, in the past, they actually had a farmer brewer license and it atrophied over the years. They didn't use it. They'd now like to make an application to redo, if you will, to be able to brew and serve their own malt beverages along with the wine. And as you indicated, the second application is simply to combine the existing farmer winery with the farmer brewery under 19H with the rights to pour both. We have gone through the application with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, as well as have met with the Port Norfolk Civic Association, which is supportive of the request, and we have no opposition that we're aware of. Mr. Bruno is the existing and proposed, if you will, manager of record for the combined operation if we are granted. And again, we're happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us today, Mr. Bruno. I have no questions. Commissioners, do you?
None for me, thank you.
I do not, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office has deferred to the judge from this board. ONS does not require an abutters meeting. We just ask that the applicant just connect with the local civic association. Thank you.
Hello, Madam Chair, members of the board, Liam Remus from Council Fitzgerald's office. We'd like to go on record in support of this proposal. And then the Civic Association was in support of this as well, the Port Norfolk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Okay, then the board will take these under advisory. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Calling items 19 and 20, similar transactions. Strawmet Hudson LLC doing business as Trillium, located at 401 Park Drive. Item 19 has applied for a farmer distillery pouring license under Chapter 138, Section 19E. To be exercised on the above, the distillery pouring area is located on the first floor of 401 Park Drive and totals approximately 35 square feet. And item number 20 has applied for a combined 19H wines, malts, and distillery pouring license to be exercised on the above. Premise to be licensed under Section 19H consists of approximately 1,500 square feet, made out of steel columns and glass partition walls and solid partition panels. The indoor tap room is 1,085 square feet. In front of the tap room, there are two means of egress on either side of the building. One door leads to the outdoor patio of 1,762 square feet. In front of the tap room, the glass partitions slide back and stack on top of each other to open the front of house space to the air. Total area of the tap room and the attached annual weather permitting outdoor patio on private property are the same hours of the restaurant, 2,847 square feet. Brandon Keating, manager, 1 a.m. closing hour. Who's present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Attorney Green. Tyler Hensler here representing Trillium at Fenway. Attorney Green is correct. This is a similar transaction to the previous one. Trillium is looking to add craft spirits and cocktails to their menu at the Fenway location. Joining me from Trillium is the manager of record, Brandon Keating, as well as Mario Watkins from the Trillium corporate office. The craft spirits and cocktails will be added to the menu in addition to their current offerings of beer, wine, ciders, and assorted seasonal offerings. We've filed and gotten approved to the required applications to do so at both the TTB and ABCC levels. We're therefore here for the Boston Licensing Board applying for the farmer distillery pouring license to serve these cocktails and a 19H alteration of premises to incorporate the pouring area for the distillery into our 19H license as it exists now that covers the rest of the tap room. Trillium has been operating in Massachusetts for over 11 years and have operated in the Fenway location for 5 years. Recently, they applied to extend the hours until 1 a.m. at this location, but I should note that they have not and do not currently actually enact that. So they adhere to the previous closing time of midnight. And I'm not aware of any plans to change that. But during the time that they've been open, 5 years, they've had many customer requests for offerings other than beers. They cater to many different types of people, from the after work crowd to the seniors at the surrounding colleges, to neighbors, and to the pregame crowds and pre-event crowds in the Fenway area. So there is demand for beverages other than beer. We point to these many requests from customers for cocktail options as evidence of the public need for such a license at this location. Further, I'll add that while we're adding distilled spirits, this is primarily a craft beer business. We therefore expect distilled spirits will take up a relatively small percentage of sales at this location. I'll add the character and fitness of this applicant is also very strong, as they have successfully operated at this location for 5 years with the beer and wine pouring license, and Trillium overall operates various brewery, winery, and distillery pouring licenses all around the state and have done so for 11 years. In that time, Trillium has not received a violation at any of their locations, including the Fenway location. The manager of record will be Brandon Keating. He's currently the manager of record on the 19H pouring license at this location. So he's been previously approved by the ABCC and by this board. He is a Massachusetts resident. He's a U.S. citizen. He's familiar with the rules and regulations pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth. And he has experience in the industry as aforementioned. We held an abutters meeting earlier this week, which was productive, and we have been in contact with the Fenway Civic Association, who did not require a meeting. With that, we're happy to take any questions, but we thank the board for your time.
Thank you very much, Attorney. Thank you, Mr. Keating, for joining us. I know you were already previously approved. I have no questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information in the community process. The applicant secured support from the Fenway Civic Association. We had the abutters meeting earlier this week on September 23rd. There were some residents from Audubon Circle that attended that had expressed some concerns about the timing of this right after the hours have been extended on the premises. Ultimately, the Audubon Civic Association, which is outside of the catchment area, wrote a letter of non-opposition. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on items 19 or 20 concerning Trillium? Seeing none, the board will take these under advisement as well. Oh, and it looks like so the manager of record for the last item has joined us. There are connection issues, so we'll take that after the next item. Calling item number 21, Walter Corporation, doing business as El Jardín, located at 15 William C. Kelly Square in East Boston, has applied for a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverages license to be exercised on the above 1,800 square foot restaurant space on 1 floor with 2 entrances and 3 exits. Front of the space includes seating for 40, as well as service counter on the right side, kitchen, restrooms, and storage in the rear. Manager Kelly Orego, closing time 2 a.m. Who's present on behalf of the applicant?
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Attorney Green. Tyler Hensler again from Upton, Canal, and Devlin, representing the Walter Corporation, DBA El Jardín, located at 15 Kelly Square. Joining me is the owner, Walter, and this is Archie, and Kelly Orego, the manager of record, is joining on via Zoom at a different location. We are applying for a new Section 12 beer and wine license to be exercised at 15 Kelly Square. This is an existing Colombian restaurant and bakery that serves traditional Colombian dishes such as empanadas and tapico, and is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's been a restaurant at this location for 20 years. El Jardín, which is Spanish for the garden, is a family restaurant hosting events such as birthday parties and family gatherings. There is no bar at this location. El Jardín believes that beer and wine offerings would be complementary to the dishes that they offer. There's also an economic need to boost sales so that the business may survive, and the sale of beer and wine are one way to help accomplish that. Public need for this license is demonstrated by customer request. It is also the only bakery/family restaurant in the area. The character and fitness of the applicant is also strong, as Walter has been in the restaurant business for many years. Back in Colombia, he operated restaurants, and he's lived in this neighborhood for 10 years, where he's operated this particular restaurant and bakery for the past 4 years with no issues. Further, the manager of record, Kelly Orrego, in addition to being a U.S. citizen and a Massachusetts resident, he is familiar with the rules and regulations pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth. And he also has experience in the industry. He's worked as both a server and bartender for California Pizza Kitchen and Rock Bottom Brewery for 6 years, responsibly handling alcohol in both roles before coming to be the manager at El Jardín. The community process was completed last year by the applicant in 2023, which we confirmed with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. With that, we're happy to take any questions the board has, but we thank you for your time.
Thank you, attorney. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for covering the manager of record questions. I think you mentioned it, but just so I have it in my notes, how many years has this restaurant been open in this location?
So 4 since you've owned it, right?
20 years in total.
20 years in total, but 4 since under this ownership, under
Okay.
Walter.
And are you open, do you stay open till 2 a.m., 7 days a week?
¿A qué horas tú cierras? 11 de la noche. Tenemos licencias a las 12. 11 p.m. He closes, but they have license until the midnight.
11 p.m. But they have that just for flexibility for special
Okay.
events, maybe.
Okay. But, okay, you operate till 11, but your license allows you to go longer.
Yes.
Thanks very much. You explained that very well. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Attorney Hensler, just to make sure all our I's are dotted and T's are crossed, is the manager of record with us on screen? Do you just know where we could find? Oh,
Yeah,
hey, there we go.
I believe the title is Miguel's iPhone.
No, I think it's KO. I see him waving.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry, I've just asked you to unmute. Is that
right there?
Yeah.
Nice.
How you doing?
perfect? Great. Thank you very much for being with us. Great. Chairman Joyce, do you have any further questions for the manager of record or to the attorney cover?
I think he covered them all. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining us.
Perfect. If there are no other questions from the board, I will ask, are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office will defer to the judge from this board. As you heard from the applicant, previously they went through a community process. We've had some personnel changes, so we don't unaware of any specific concerns related to the addition of a alcohol license at this establishment. We are aware of some concerns regarding a patio that apparently exists on the property, as well as some issues with illegal parking that residents have brought forward to us. Beyond that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. My name is Miguel Vargas, and I'm the executive director for the East Boston Main Streets, and I'm here to support El Jardín and Mr. Castañeda. We've been working closely with him, with the community, and also we also understand that the patio is going to be probably done in October. So we also supporting all the patios in East Boston for the restaurants that they needed over the summer.
Thank you, Miguel. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Attorney Pisano, just returning to you briefly, was the proposed manager of record from SelfHub able to connect?
Yes, he should be on here. Valentino?
Hello, it's me.
Perfect. You are Mr. Peradina?
That is me, yes.
Thank you very much for joining us. We have eyes on you. Chairman Joyce, do you have any questions for this manager of record?
Thank you for joining us. I think my notes indicate that we covered all the questions. So we just needed you to be present and to appear before the board. I have nothing further. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
I do not, thank you.
Nothing further.
Thank you. We've already taken testimony on that item, so the board will take item number 16 under advisement as well. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Returning to the order of this morning's agenda, calling item number 22, Florenza Inc. doing business as Florenza, located at 164 to 170 Sumner Street in East Boston, has applied for a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license to be exercised on the above 1,700 square foot restaurant on ground floor of building. Includes 1 entrance and 2 exits. Front entrance with vestibule opens to a display and payment counter and adjacent espresso bar. Counter seating with 4 stools are provided near espresso bar. Front dining area with 27 seats is located opposite the payment counter. Kitchen and walk-in cooler located at rear of space with rear exit. 2 restrooms provided, storage area and basement. Manager Stefano Bruno. Closing time 10 p.m. Attorney Diane Modica. Attorney Modica.
Good morning, Attorney Green, Madam Chairman and members of the board. Diane Modica, attorney at 24 Haines Street, East Boston, Massachusetts. And with me is Stefano Bruno, who is the owner, operator, and manager of record of Florenza's. I know we're almost at the end of the line here, so I'll make it as brief as I can, but do want to provide you with additional details. I'll talk a little bit about the restaurant and its particular theme, about Stefano, his training and experience, about the public need for this particular license, and about the community process. The restaurant, as is aptly described in the description, is an Italian-inspired restaurant located at this particular address. It is right on the East Boston waterfront, but still in the neighborhood. And I'd like to make a point about that because many of you might already know that the development on the East Boston waterfront has been substantial. I mean, there are thousands of new units, not only on the waterfront across the street, but in the abutting neighborhood and throughout East Boston. So the economic promise and of that development included the development of small businesses. And so we believe that the addition of a beer and wine and cordial license here would be substantially advantageous for this business and for the entire community. The restaurant itself, as I said, is Italian themed, and its name, Florenza, is related to the owner's grandmother, whose name was Florenza, from whom he received most of his Italian culinary training. But in addition to that, he has obviously gotten additional experience as the owner and operator of this restaurant since May. The board approved this license back in 2023, but because it was a complete build-out, everything is brand new in the establishment. It took until this past year to open up. The menu consists of pizza, but it's a special pizza. It's a special Roman recipe that, frankly, has been received by the community with a great deal of popularity. In addition to that, he also has paninis. He also has arancini, pasta dishes as well are beginning to make their appearance on the menu, and has espresso and various forms of coffee and other soft drinks. But really, the beer and wine license is essential because that's a traditional combination when you're serving Italian foods. Also, there's 18 flavors of gelato, which has been a big hit, not only with, patrons who come in, but with the families who come in with children. So we think that the combination of all of these items on the menu has been a big sort of hit in East Boston. And the popularity of the restaurant is obviously well known in the online community and Yelp, et cetera, where there's many, many accolades that have been given to them. Stefano himself has experience that I think is very necessary for running this type of establishment. He has been in management positions most of his career and has been actually trained in OSHA standards, which applies to the safety and well-being of employees on the establishment. So he's gone through 30 hours of that, as well as the TIPS training. So he's certified for service of alcohol. In addition to that, he's had culinary training not only at his grandmother's apron strings, but also from various chefs in the area, and actually had a Roman chef come in and school him on the preparation of this particular type of pizza, which is light and airy and very easy to eat more than one piece. In addition, the family has been involved in East Boston for many, many years and is well known in the community. He's also a U.S. citizen. He's a Massachusetts resident. He has made himself familiar with the rules and regulations of the board, the ABCC, and the Massachusetts law. As I said, the need is there. The waterfront, is developing. The business end of it has only begun to sort of emerge these last few years. So this is really, really important for any business that opens on the waterfront. In addition to that, the customers that come in have asked for beer and wine repeatedly. And we think that is an essential aspect in order to make sure that this business prospers and all of those who work for it remain employed. In addition to that, we have gone through a very major community vetting, because last year when we came to the board for the common victual license, we went through the process with the abutters meetings and with the Maverick Central Neighborhood Association, who gave their support at that time, and with the elected officials. This year we repeated that process, and in fact appeared today with support from the Maverick Central Neighborhood Association, which has, I think, submitted a letter of support to this board. Also, the community process, was organized by the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, and I'm sure that they will be heard today as well. We have support from our city councilor, who also will be heard today, from our state senator. Again, she has staff on board, as well as our state representative, Adria Madero, who submitted a letter of support as well. So we believe that the community process has vetted this particular applicant substantially, and we are ready to move forward, hopefully with the addition of the beer, wine, and cordial license. And I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for that very thorough explanation. My only question is, and you may have mentioned it, when did you open up with just the CV?
We opened up in May.
Yeah.
May of this year, because the build out took longer than expected because of distribution of material supplies.
Okay. So you've been opened till 10 p.m. since May?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, from 8 p.m., but we want the flexibility, because we know that once the beer and wine license is given, hopefully, that it will obviously increase the business in the evening as well.
Okay.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Corona, Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
Not at this time, thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office to defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information on the community process. ONS held a butters meeting once again, July 24th. There was one resident who expressed some concerns regarding trash. I believe the applicant pledged to continue to work with him on that. They went on to meet with the Maverick Central Civic Association, which was supportive of the proposal. With that info, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
May I say something in response to the comment about the trash, Madam Chair? The woman who appeared is well known to the applicant, and she basically used our hearing as a forum to talk about the way people put out their trash, especially the absentee landlords around the corner. But she had no complaints about this particular application or this particular applicant.
Thank you for that clarification. Are there any other elected officials or their representatives who would like to provide testimony on this item?
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, members of the board.
Councilor
My name
Coletta's
is Aaron
office.
Reisler from Senator Lindy Edwards' office. She would like to go on record as in full support of this application for Lorenza.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Sebastian Parr from Councilor Coletta's office. And based on the community process and based on the work that they've done to work with the community, the council would like to go in support of this project as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Yes, also ministry is supporting this.
Thank you. And one more time, are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And calling item number 23, Locali Inc., doing business as Locali, located at 350 to 352 Hanover Street, has applied for a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above 1,305 square foot restaurant located on the first floor. Includes kitchen, dining area with seating for 30, alcohol storage in the rear. All patrons' exits and entrances are located on Hanover Street. Manager Jennifer Matarazzo, closing time 11 p.m. Attorney Jeffrey Drago. Attorney Drago.
Thank you, Secretary Green. Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Attorney Jeff Drago with Drago and Toscano here on behalf of the petitioner licensee Jennifer Matarazzo and her business Locali. As was mentioned, she is the manager of record and owner and petitioner for this location at 350-352 Hanover Street. We are today, as was mentioned, applying for an all alcohol 7-day license, one of the unrestricted. Her particular business is located in a community commercial district, a busy section of Hanover Street. Jen has owned and operated Locali for over 10 years at this location. She started out and has grown slowly over time. It has been a pizzeria. She was half the size that she is now. We went through the Zoning Board of Appeals process back in April and were approved to expand that business in 2024. We also appeared before this board and were granted for an alteration of premises to expand. So she is now at 1,305 square feet, basically taking the 2 storefronts at this location. She actually, along with doing that, she'll be opening again this Friday. It's been under renovation for some months, trying to build her new location, which I provided to the board in the plans and packets. This new location will actually expand her menu greatly. So from a pizzeria, she will now have all kinds of pasta, salads, antipasto. She has been operating with beer and wine and cordials through this time period. And so there is a strong public need as she expanded to hopefully add a full alcohol license at this location. She actually built a whole seating and bar area in the expanded section of the new Locali. She was able to expand her kitchen area to provide more food and food prep in a larger area that would now be able to serve alcohol as people come in to dine. She is basically a dine-in experience, although she does about 20% takeout. Most of her customer base is looking to sit and dine at this location. What she has found as she slowly expanded through the years is so many of her existing customer base is asking for the option to have all alcohol or liquor with their food. And she is in a busy tourist area as well. And so many folks comment that they would like to see that. That's evident in the support that she got as we went through this process. We went through the full community process when we expanded her premises, and then went through this again as we asked for the all alcohol license. We submitted over 29 letters of support. We got the support of New Neck, the North End Waterfront Council, and non-opposition from New Ra. We also had well-attended meetings where everyone was in full support of her doing this. So there is a strong public need at this particular location. She has a very clean record, no violations through the years. She also has a lot of experience through this time. Her and her assistant manager, Tyler Carlson, have been serving beer, wine, and cordials without any issue during this 10-year period that they've been opened, and has experience. She is a U.S. citizen. Jennifer, who is present on the call, I want to add, is a resident of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. She's familiar with the rules and regulations of this licensing board, the ABCC, and the Commonwealth, the laws of the Commonwealth as well. She has experience working all this time at this location, and her assistant manager not only has been a manager and serving alcohol at this location, but as a bartender in other locations prior as well. With that, I can pause and answer any questions. She's also on the call as well, Madam Chair, if there's any questions for either of us.
Sure. Thank you. So we have to really dig into the public need with these licenses and these applications. The North End has a lot of restaurants. Many of those restaurants have beer and wine. Some of them have all alcohol licenses. So can you, for the board's purposes, provide me with some more information about what makes your restaurant stand out from some of the other restaurants in the general area? You know, what do you offer that maybe
Sure.
what differentiates your concept or the experience someone might have when they go into Locale? Public support doesn't always necessarily translate to public need. So if you could help us draw that out a little bit more, it would be great.
So this is a modern pizzeria style restaurant, which is somewhat unique for this particular area. With their expanded menu, it'll have expansion on the pizzeria. So all different kinds of Neapolitan style pizzas, pastas, antipasti as well. It's in this community commercial. I know many of the other restaurants are in commercial, but some are mixed in more residential. This is a heavy trafficked area. She's a bit away from other establishments that have full liquor license, so it would make it somewhat unique for that.
Do you know which the closest all alcohol license is?
I don't. I can get back to
That's
you.
okay. We're actually building a map of the North End.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to see where all these licenses are. Like, go ahead.
It's the Cantina Italiano, which is right next door to us.
Okay.
She also, as part of this, is expanding. So right now she's operating as a very small pizzeria, or had been half the size that she is now. By expanding, she's going to have a whole bar seating area. She'll be a larger style restaurant. So she'll be at 1,305 square feet, which now gives the ability to serve at the bar with food, to also have tabletops in the bar area, and then a whole new food prep area. So this will be able to accommodate a growing number of folks, as opposed to what she's able to serve now, and having the bar experience where a lot of folks come in as singles, not wanting to sit at a table. This gives them that opportunity now to have bar seating, which many of the smaller restaurants in the area do not have.
Okay. That's helpful. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
No questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office will defer to the judgment of this board. ONS had hosted an abutters meeting July 10th. There were no concerns raised in that meeting, I understand. As you heard from the applicant's representation, they went on to meet with NURA and NUNIC, with NUNIC supporting the proposal and no opposition from NURA. I understand that both civics did not express concerns. With that, defer to the board. Thank you.
Hi, Madam Chair, members of the board. Patrick Lyons on behalf of State Representative Aaron Michaelwitz. He'd like to be on the record in strong support of this application. Jen and her team have been nothing but an asset to the neighborhood over the past 10 years. And, you know, any opportunity to help them grow is something that will benefit the neighborhood greatly. Thank you.
Thank you. I see a hand raised from Daniel Toscano. Mr. Toscano, you may please provide your testimony.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Daniel Toscano. For clarification, I was the previous second half of Drago and Toscano, but I am no longer a partner. So I don't want the board to feel that Dan Toscano is now calling on behalf of an applicant. I'm calling as a resident of the North End, 78 Prince Street in Boston, Mass. Lifelong resident of the North End. I've known Jennifer my entire life. The chair had asked, can you differentiate your restaurant from other restaurants in the neighborhood? I don't have to get into the busyness of the neighborhood. I think Attorney Drago has done a great job, and I think the board is aware the number of people that come to the North End for our dining experiences. But there's two things. One, Jennifer's restaurant, since she's been open well over 10 years, and I represented her in the past when she first opened. She caters not only to the tourist people that come to the neighborhood, but it is such a local environment. The amount of people from the neighborhood that enjoy to go to Locales is great. It's a great local establishment for people like myself and my family to go. And I know that the need for Jennifer, there's always been people that come in and want to mix drink or a cocktail and just can't get in, and she does lose business. The second thing I think Attorney Drago touched upon it is the uniqueness of her restaurant. There's nothing like Locale in the North End. It's, originally the concept was a gourmet pizza place. There are pizza places in the North End. There's nothing like Locale where she gets all her ingredients local. And I think that's why she named it local. I know why she named it Locale, because that's where she goes and she gets her ingredients. It's all local and she prepares them, but there's nothing like that concept of gourmet pizzas in the neighborhood. And now she's expanding. She got the business next door, and she's going to add more local flavors. So it's a great establishment, not only for the tourists, but for the local population as well. I just want to touch upon character, and I'll be real quick. I know it's been a long day. Jennifer is a lifelong resident in the North End. Her kids went to school in the neighborhood. Her kids grew up in our Boys and Girls Club in the neighborhood. She's probably one of the only, if very few, residents of mom and pop stores that we have left in the neighborhood. Jennifer's been a part of the neighborhood her entire life. She still maintains her residency there. Her family's still in the neighborhood. She's always accessible to the neighborhood and the people if there's ever a problem. I can tell you this probably has never been a problem at Locale. As Attorney Drago touched upon it, she's had a beer and wine license for many years. I don't believe there's been any violations. She closes early. I don't think she's expanding her hours of operation. So she's a great neighbor. She's a valuable asset to this community. I know the board is going to be faced with some challenging decisions with a limited number of alcohol licenses, and a lot of applicants want them in the North End. But I think this board, if they grant this license, could look back and feel very confident and comfortable that they gave this license to a good applicant that will be productive for many years to come, and they will never have to worry about violations at this location. And I think she'll be very deserving of the application. So thank you. It's been great to come back on the board to say something. Sorry I had to wait so long, but it's been great. So good to see everybody. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Are there any other individuals with us this afternoon who would like to testify on this matter?
Danny, I do have one more question. If no one else has commentary or testimony. This question might be for Jennifer or Attorney Drago. Should you be granted an all alcohol license, would you be surrendering your beer and wine license to the city?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions.
Thank you. Anything further from the board on this matter? That the board will take this matter under advisement as well.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Those are all the items before the board this morning. The board will convene to vote tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Notice has been posted to the city's website. That will adjourn this morning's hearing. Thank you all and enjoy the rest of your day.